Hello, my name is Jennifer, and I love to read because you always learn something new when you are reading. Today, I'm going to read you Where the Wild Things Are, and I chose this book because we get to look at some really cute animals today. So let's get started. The title is Where the Wild Things Are, Story and Pictures by Maurice Sedak. So what do you guys see here? It looks like we are in a forest with maybe this is the wild thing. He looks like an animal and he's sleeping. What else do you guys see here? This looks like a boat, some trees. So let's see what we're going to read about. So this book is the winner of the Caldecott Medal for the most distinguished picture book of the year. So that means that they won an award for having really great pictures in this book. So what do we see here? These look like maybe some leaves. Can you shout out any colors that you see? What about this one? Yellow. And what about this one? Blue. Where the Wild Things Are. Where the Wild Things Are, Story and Pictures by Maurice Sedak. So what do we see here? Looks like we have two animals, or maybe that's what this book is calling wild things. And do they look scared? I think they look a little scared. By this boy over here, maybe. I wonder what he's up to. Let's find out. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind. So this looks like Max, who's up to no good. What is he doing? Looks like he's holding a hammer. He's standing on books. He doesn't have a very happy face on either. And another, what is Max doing here? Chasing his dog. Uh-oh. His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. It looks like Max got in trouble for what? Maybe yelling at his mom, telling her he's going to eat her, or because he was not behaving. Remember, we saw him chasing the dog. So that very night in Max's room, a forest grew. What do we see growing in Max's room? Looks like some trees. And grew. Looks like even more trees are growing in Max's room. And grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. Wow, it looks like Max's room turned into what? An entire forest, that's right. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through night and day. There's Max in the boat, in the ocean. And in and out of weeks and almost over a year to where the wild things are. Looks like we found our first wild thing. Can you see him or her? Right here. Do we think Max is maybe a little bit scared? Maybe. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. Do they look scary or do they look nice? Max doesn't look too scared. He maybe looks a little mad. Till Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once, and they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all. So now the wild things are scared of Max, right? And made him king of all wild things. And now, cried Max, let the wild rumpus start. What do we think the wild rumpus means? Maybe they're going to have a party. It looks like they are howling at the moon here. Can anyone find the moon? Right here. Looks like Max is having a really good time. And now what are the wild things doing? Hanging on the trees. What are they doing here? It looks like they're having a parade. And where is Max? Can anyone find Max? Right here on the shoulders of one of the wild things. He does look like king. Now stop, Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around, from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. Where do we think Max is missing, or who does Max miss? His mom, maybe? And it says he smelled good things to eat. I wonder what he's smelling. See, Max looks a little sad here, right? But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye. Where do we think Max is going? That he's waving goodbye to all the wild things. And sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day. It looks like Max is doing what now? It looks like Max is sleeping. And into the night of his very own room where he found his supper waiting for him. Wow. Where's his supper? Can anybody see it? There it is. And it was still hot. The end. So what does that mean? That means maybe Max was dreaming and that's where he met all the wild things in his dream. And I think in his dream he missed his mom, and then all the good things that he was smelling was probably his dinner that his mom came in to put on the table. And that's why he woke up from his dream. I hope you guys really enjoyed this book as much as I enjoyed reading it to you today. Always remember that I know this year is a little tough, but it's a really good reason to sit down with a book and read as much as you can, because remember, whenever you read, you always learn something new.